It is day 3 of our videos, so I'm super excited to keep working with all of you. So just make sure you have all your materials. If you have the packet, make sure it says Friday 3/20/20. And if you don't have the packet, again, make sure you have a blank piece of paper and a pencil. So I'll give you a second just to get that ready. Alrighty, so let's get started. We're gonna do question number 1. Choose 2 values that are the same as 803. So something that I like to do is I like to go through each of these very slowly, and if I realize that it doesn't match this value, then I'm gonna cross it off. And if it does, I'm gonna circle it. Okay, so let's look at number 1. 3 ones and 8 hundreds. Take a second to think about if that is the same value as 803. Okay, so if you circled it, you were right. And I'll tell you why in a second. So, we do have 8 hundreds in that digit, and we do, in our ones place, we have the digit 3, so we do have 3 ones, so that is the same exact value as 803. And I'm actually going to get another marker because my marker is running out. One sec, guys. All right. Let's do the next one. B. 8 tens and 3 ones. Take a second to think about if that is the same value as 803. Okay, so it is not the same value as 3 because if you look at the tens place, we don't have anything there. It's a 0, so we don't have 8 tens. And we do have 3 ones, but our value, when we read this off, the number would be 83. It wouldn't be 803, so that's why that doesn't match. Let's move to the next part. 8 hundreds, 3 tens. Take a second to think about if that is the same as 803. Okay, so hopefully you crossed it out. Although we do have 8 hundreds, we don't have 3 tens. We have 0. Now, before we say that this one's correct, because we have to choose 2 values, let's really think about that one. Let's see. 7 hundreds, 10 tens, and 3 ones. Wow, okay. So, if you're confused because it's a 7 hundreds, but there's 8 hundreds, really think about the 10 tens right here. We know that 10 tens makes what? 100. So, I want you to circle this, and I want you to put it over here, and I actually want you to cross that out, and you're actually going to have 8 hundreds because 10 tens makes another 100, so you're going to put an 8 here, and we're going to cross this out. We don't have our tens anymore. So when you really look at it, 8 hundreds and 3 ones, that is the same value as 803, okay? So we're actually going to circle this one. All right, let's move on to number 2. Count up by 100s for each. Let's take a second to look at this. So let's look at number 1. 204, 304, and then it has 4 blank spaces, and then it says 804. So I know that my hundreds place are changing, and I know that it's changing and it's going up. So I want you to take a second to fill this first part out. All right, let's do it together. So 204, 304, I'm noticing that the hundreds place is going up, and also that the tens and ones place are staying the same. Okay, easy. So 204, 304, 404, 504, 604, and 704. Almost made a little mistake right here. Okay. Let's go on to the next part. Make sure that you have these same numbers before I move on. All right. This one says 172, and then there's 2 blank spots. Then it says 472. So again, remember what I told you about the hundreds place, the tens place, and the ones place. So I actually want you to try this one on your own again. All right, I'm gonna start it. 172, I know that my hundreds place is going up and my tens and ones staying the same. So then 272 would come next, 372, 472, 572, 672, 772. All right, last one. This one says 96. Interesting, so we don't have any hundreds for this number. Okay, we have no hundreds for that number. So think about what's gonna happen when we add 100 to it, okay? I want you to do this on your own, and then we're gonna see if our answers match. So you can get started. All right, so hopefully when you added that 100, you kept the tens and the ones the same. So if we add 100, since we had 0 hundreds, we're gonna have 100 here, and then the 96 will stay the same. So 196. Then next would be 296, 396, 496, 596, 696, and 796. Okay. Awesome job. We're actually going to move on to question 3. So get that extra piece of paper if you need one, and turn your packet over. Okay, let's get started on number 3. Find the missing value, draw a bar model to match. So real quick, what I want you to do is I want you to label your total and your parts. So take a second to do that. Okay, so hopefully you put your parts here, because you know when we're adding, we can only add our parts, and this is our total. Okay, so right now we're missing our part. Now there's many different ways that you can do this problem to solve it, so I'm just gonna wait and you're gonna do your own strategy, and then I'm just gonna show just one strategy. So you can do that now. Okay, so there's two ways that you could have done this. You could have started with your total and subtracted your part, which is 21. Or you can start with your part and you can add and stop when you get to your total, because you never want to add your part in your total, because that would not be correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my part, which is 21, and then I'm going to stop when I get to my total, which is 34, and then I'll find my missing part. So I'm going to put 21 in my brain, and I'm going to take a second to think about what's an easy way to get to 34. So I could use place value. So if I drew another 10 stick, if I added 21 plus 10, what would that be? 21 plus 10. So 21 plus 10 would be 31. So I wouldn't pass my total yet. So I'm going to do that instead of drawing a bunch of circles. So I'm going to draw a 10 stick. 21, 31, and then I'm going to do circles, and when I get to 34, I'm going to stop. So I have 31, 32, 33, 34. And my missing total is actually what I just drew right here. So I'm going to label that on the top, and we're going to see what our missing total is. So we have a 10 stick, so that's 10. And now we're going to count by ones. So 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 was my missing part. And if you want, you can write a number sentence to match your strategy, which would be super awesome, because it's really good to just practice making number sentences. So down here, I'm going to write 21. And because I added 13, I'm going to put plus 13, and that equals 34. And I'm actually going to box 13 just to show that that was my missing part, okay? And you can label your part and your total. All right, so let's keep moving. We're gonna move on to question number 4. And I'm gonna read the whole problem first, just so I can see what type of problem this is. Trey and his brother love to collect stickers. Trey collected 53 stickers, and his brother collected 24 stickers. How many stickers do they have all together? So what we want to make sure that we do is we write a number sentence that matches the story, okay? So even though it doesn't say that in the directions, this is a good way to let yourself know what you're going to do in your problem. So I'm going to draw my box here. And I actually want you to write the number sentence on your own, but I'm going to give you a little hint. This first sentence, Trey and his brother love to collect stickers. That's just giving us information about our word problem. That's not going to be a part of our number sentence. So that first sentence will not help you create your number sentence. So I want you to take a second and I want you to write your number sentence in that box. Okay, so I'm actually going to read the problem after that first sentence because this is just giving us information that they love to collect stickers. So I'm going to read this part again. Trey collected 53 stickers and his brother collected 24 stickers. How many stickers did they have all together? That is a clue that you're going to add because we need to figure out how much we have all together. So your number sentence should have been 53 plus 24 equals question mark because we don't know how much they have all together yet. Now I'm actually going to draw 2 strategies this time. So I want you to draw your strategy, and your strategy still might not match the ones that I draw, but that's okay. As long as we get that same answer, you're fine. Okay, so I want you to take a second. I want you to solve this problem. And make sure that you're doing a strategy that is an easy and quick strategy for you, okay? Making sure that we don't draw too many circles. What is an easy way that we can solve this problem? So keep that in mind. All right, you can get started. All right, I'm going to start. I'm going to put a line in the middle so that I can show you the 2 strategies that I'm about to do. Okay. So I'm going to put 53 in my brain, and I'm going to use 10 sticks and 1s because I don't want to waste time drawing 24 circles. So I'm going to do my 10 sticks and 1s. I have 2 10 sticks right here because of the 2 in the tens place, and then I have 4 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I count by tens starting at 53. So 53, 63, 73. Now I'm counting by 1s. The 1s place is going to change. The 10s stay the same. So 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. And you can draw a number sentence to match what you did, which would be 53 plus 24 equals 77. And I'm just boxing this because that's the missing total that we had. And if you labeled this, awesome job. Now I'm going to do another strategy on this side. And I'm actually going to switch my parts. I don't know if everyone else talked about this word yet, but when you can switch your parts when you're adding, it's called commutative property. Everyone say it. Great. So it's commutative property. And we can only switch our parts when we're adding. So this time I'm not going to start with 53. I'm going to start with 24. And I'm going to draw 5 10 sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to draw 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put 24 in my brain, and I'm going to count on by tens. So 24, 34, 44, 54, 64, 74, 75, 76, 77. So we can see that we got the same answer even though we switched our parts around, okay? So we have, for our number sentence, we started with 24, we added 53, and then we got 77 for our answer. And I'm just gonna box that. So these are our parts, and this is our total. Now the question says, how many stickers do they have all together? I want you to answer that in a complete sentence down here where it says answer. So you can do that now. Okay, I'm going to start to write it. So Trey and his brother have 77 stickers all together. I'm going to move on to number 5. Find the sum of 417 plus 65. Use the HTO chart to help you solve. Okay, so remember for what we did last time, I want you to label HTO on the top or TO if it doesn't have any hundreds. So do that real quick. Now what I want you to do is I want you to draw only the number 417 in this chart. Okay, so just represent 417 and then we'll move on slowly to the next number. So do that first. Okay, make sure that you didn't label your work just yet. We're gonna do that at the end. So if you did, take a second to erase that real quick. We're not supposed to label just yet. So we're gonna draw the 400s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we have only 110. So we're gonna draw 110. Then we only have 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to draw my ones in rows of 5. That way I can easily circle it and I'll know when I make a 10. Okay, so I have 5 here, 6, 7. Okay, now we can cross this off so that we know that we finished that. And we're going to draw our next number, which is 65. So we don't have any hundreds for that number. So we have 6 tens and 5 ones. I want you to take a second to draw that on your chart. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw the tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have 5 ones. I'm going to continue drawing in this spot. So if I make a 10, I'll know. So 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So before I label, what do we have to do before I even label? What should we check? If we can what? Regroup. Okay. So I'm looking at my tens, and I don't think I have 10 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I only have 7. Let's look at the ones. So because we set it up like this, you can already tell that we can regroup our ones and make it into a 10 stick because we have 10 ones here. Okay, I'm just going to make sure and double check that I have 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'm going to circle this, cross it out, and I'm going to draw an arrow and draw a 10 stick here. So hopefully you did that and you made sure that you had those 10 ones. Okay. Now what I can do is I can start to label everything. So I want you to take that quick minute to label everything, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that next. All right, let's see which answer I get. So I'm going to start with my hundreds. 100, 200, 300, 400. Now I'm going to start and count by tens, starting at 400. Just start counting by tens. So 410, 420, 430, 440, 450, 460, 470, 480. And remember, when we move on to the ones, only our ones are going to change. So 481 and 482. So hopefully you got that answer, 482. Make sure that you write that on the answer line. 482. All right, so we're going to get ready for question number 6. And we already did a question like this, so I'm going to give you a lot of time to do these parts on your own. So I'm going to read the problem first. Nisa is 15 years old. She is 8 years younger than Cameron. How old is Cameron? Label more and less. So I want you on your own to label who has more and who has less. So do that right now. Okay, so Nisa is 15 years old. She, hopefully you put a little arrow to Nisa, she is 8 years younger. So if you're younger, you're going to have less years than someone else. So we're going to write less on top of Nisa. So if Nisa is less, then Cameron would have to have more, correct? Okay, so we're going to write more on top of Cameron. And we're going to read the question. How old is Cameron? So we have to figure out how old Cameron is. We're going to circle Cameron. And because he has more, you know the number sentence is going to be an addition number sentence for more, okay? So right now you should make a box and you should write your number sentence. I want you to do that right now. Okay, so hopefully you wrote 15 plus 8 equals question mark. So we know that we have our parts, but we don't have our total, okay? And when we don't have our total, we always add our parts. All right, so I want you to do a strategy on your own. You can do whatever strategy you would like, and then I'm going to show just one strategy on this one. Actually, I'm going to show two, just like how I did in that other word problem. So you can solve this problem right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and solve this problem. I'm going to do it in two ways. First, I'm going to start with putting 15 in my brain. Then I'm going to do 8 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because I'm missing my total, I'm going to add my parts. So I'm counting up. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'm going to write a number sentence that matches my work. So if you didn't get to do that yet, you can do that right now. Write a number sentence that matches your work. So for my work, I have 15 plus 8 equals 23. And this was my missing total, so I'm just going to box that. And these are my parts. Right now I'm going to do another strategy, and this was very similar to another problem that we did today. I'm going to switch my parts. Who remembers what that word is called when you can switch your parts? What is that called? Commutative property. Okay, so if you said that, awesome. All right. I'm going to switch my parts, and I'm going to start with a different number. I'm going to put 8 in my brain, and I'm not going to draw 15 circles. I'm just going to draw 1 10 stick and then 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 8, so I want to make sure that I add 10 to 8. So 8, and then I would have 18, because 10 plus 8 is 18. Then I'm going to make sure that I'm going to count by ones. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So if you got 23 for your strategy, great job. I'm going to write my number sentence. 8 plus 15 equals 23. Boxing that total because I was missing it before. Okay, now we're going to write our answer. How old is Cameron? So answer that question right down here, and then I'm going to do it after you. All right, so hopefully you wrote Cameron is 23 years old. Now that would be pretty cool if Cameron, you were 23 years old, but I know that's not true. It's just a word problem. Okay, so we're finished. You all did a lot of work today, so give yourself a little break, and then don't forget to watch the rest of the videos, okay? So your brains could keep on growing while we're learning at home, okay? All right, so I'll see you all on Monday. Have a great weekend, and I hope that you're doing awesome things with your family. Okay, bye guys.